Welcome to volume 21 of Nintendo Switch games that I definitely believe you should buy before they become rare and expensive. One of the games we're going to be talking about today is actually already incredibly rare. So without further ado, feel free to sit back, relax, and let's dive into it. The first game I want to talk about today is Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Force. This is one of the best JRPGs released by Idea Factory and Compile Hearts. The story in this game is based in a world that was once a battleground for the vile god and the goddess, who have since been sealed away. However, events are unfolding where the assistance of the goddess is needed, and freeing her is of the utmost importance. Players are introduced to Fang, a male character who sort of coasts by life. In an attempt to get some free food, he pulls a sword out of a stone, which only ends up being a fairy named Erin, which also turns him into a fencer with special abilities. She partners up with Fang and urges him to collect fairies, who are other powerful weapons around the world. What's interesting about the story is that there's a nice balance between the male and female characters, which I don't usually see, especially ones that are playable characters. But yeah, this game is awesome. It's kind of a mixture between a JRPG and a visual novel, in the sense of that there's actually quite a bit of dialogue, but there's actually English voice acting, and it's really good. So you're not going to be reading the whole time, it's just going to be a lot of story. And I will say the characters are awesome. Every single character in this game is spot on. Going from the character designs, their personalities, the way they sound, even the music in this game is really good. This is definitely a hidden gem in my opinion. And this game actually gives a lot of nods to other games such as the Neptunia series. If you notice, Erin has the same kind of bows in her hair as Nepgear from Neptunia. The one thing that I find kind of interesting too is the character design, like the costume design for Fang, because it kind of reminds me of Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm sure others can agree with that as well. It's pretty funny, but I think it's really cool. So yeah, if you're into JRPGs, especially ones made by Idea Factory and Compile Hearts, you're definitely gonna love this one. A really great cast of characters, really cool music, awesome graphics, the gameplay is good, it's turn-based battles, and the dialogue is great. The English voice acting is spot on. I love when Japanese games get an English dub. Definitely go check this one out. Highly recommend it. And game number 2 is gonna be Koumajou Remilia, Scarlet Symphony. This is a Japan import that does play in English, and I will say, this is an awesome 2D platformer adventure game, very similar to the Castlevania series. In this game you play as Rimu, who is investigating a disturbance known as the Scarlet Mist, which seems to be an evil entity spreading over the land. On the way to a suspicious castle, she teams up with other allies to take over this darkness. There's not really too much story in this game, but I will say the dialogue between the characters is quite funny. The humor is great, and every character has their own personalities, and it just really makes you even more invested into the game. The battle mechanics are really good, the gameplay is solid, the graphics are really good too. This kind of has that 16-bit, almost Game Boy Advance style graphics, and I love it. If you're into 2D platform games like Castlevania, with a really good cast of characters, with very funny personalities, you're gonna love this one. Definitely go check it out. And coming in at number 3 is gonna be The Bridge Curse, Road to Salvation, which I actually have the collector's edition for. Let me grab that, 1 second. Boom, there it is. I actually got this from PlayAsia.com. It comes with the soundtrack, the art book, and some other goodies inside. Very cool. This is actually a Taiwanese horror franchise, and it's awesome, both the games and the movies. And the movies are freaking awesome. It's actually on Netflix right now, you can go watch those right now. Coming from a horror connoisseur, I can definitely say that Taiwanese and Japanese horror, they're killing it right now. They're like top dogs in horror. So the story in this game is actually out of anger and despair. There was a girl who committed herself by jumping into a lake, and since then when people walk on a bridge while counting the staircase, the original 13 steps turn into 14 steps. This is a horrifying story of a female ghost haunting that cursed bridge, which is actually based on a folklore legend that takes place in Tanghai University. Like I was saying, this franchise is awesome, and I will say this game is absolutely terrifying, definitely one of the most scariest games on the Switch. I can't really say it's as terrifying as Outlast, but it's definitely up there. The gameplay is solid, the characters are great. If you want the crap scared out of you, you gotta play this game, you're gonna love it. If you're into horror games, this one definitely has to be on your list. And if you're a horror fan in general, definitely go watch the movies, you're gonna love them, I promise you. And number 4 is gonna be Loop 8. This is a game that's been floating around for quite a while now, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. Well, I'm here to tell you that this game is definitely worth talking about because it is awesome. This game takes place in a fictional Japanese town of Ashihara in 1983 in an alternate reality where humanity is fighting for its survival against entities called the Kagai. The game follows the main character Nini, a male character who grew up in a space station that was destroyed by the Kagai. He is the sole survivor, and after it, becomes gifted with a special ability, Demon Sight, the ability to see what other characters are thinking and how they are feeling. Nini can also reset events and try them again. Nini finds refuge in Ashihara in August and spends his time making connections in the town in efforts to find the Kagai before they destroy Ashihara as well. This game is great. It has a really cool mixture of this like Persona type vibe, but also a classic JRPG. But then it also has this really cool kind of dating simulator involved into it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it has like this like trifecta mixture of different genres, and it does it perfectly. The music is really cool, the characters are very well written, and the story is great. Also, the turn-based battle is actually pretty satisfying. This is a game that's definitely going to get you hooked. And I actually have the Collector's Edition as well for this game, which you can still find on eBay, I believe. It was floating around Amazon for quite a while, but I don't see it anymore, and I definitely believe it's starting to go out, so definitely go pick it up if you can. You can find it for around $40 to $50 on eBay still. Go check it out. And last but not least is one of the most rare games in my whole collection. It took me quite a while to track it down. I was able to find an English copy on eBay finally after days of refreshing it, and that is World End Syndrome. This is an amazing romance adventure horror visual novel. You could definitely find this game online, a bunch of Japanese copies, but they don't play in English. This game was actually only released physically in Europe. That's the English version, and it's definitely hard to find. But now let's get into the story of it. This game follows a college student who's trying to escape his troubled past. As he navigates his life at a new school with a colorful cast of new friends, he joins the Mystery Club, and in it, he investigates the urban legend of the Yomibido, an event occurring every 100 years where corpses rise from the dead and rampage across the land. Like I was saying, this game is awesome. It's actually an interactive horror novel as well too, so you actually have a lot of choices you're going to be making throughout the game. It's very, very well written. It's going to get you hooked right off the bat. The characters are very well drawn, the atmosphere, the music, everything about this game in my opinion is a 10 out of 10 perfect horror visual novel, which also has quite a lot of elements added to it like a slice of life and romance dating sim type feel. So if you're into that, you're going to love this game. This is another hidden gem that I believe not a lot of people talk about, but I will say this is definitely worth your time and definitely worth reading. You're going to love this one. Definitely go check it out. Alright, well there you have it. There's some more Switch games that I definitely recommend checking out before they become rare and expensive. If there's other games you guys recommend that I check out as well, please let me know in the comments below. I'm into anything and everything the Nintendo Switch has to offer. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe. With that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Happy gaming, and God bless. Peace.